Hi, my name is Jack. Today we're going to watch the horrific case of Kelly Wilkinson. This story has shocked me, and not just me, but the whole of Australia. It's about a resident of Gold Coast, Australia, who was murdered in April 2020. The whole of Gold Coast was shocked by the news. Kelly was a mother of 3 children, living alone with her 3 children, separated from her divorced husband. Her husband's name is Brian Earl Johnston. Kelly's case has gotten a lot of media attention because of the horrific nature of her death. According to police statements, Brian Earl Johnston, her separated husband, is accused of killing Kelly Wilkinson. It is alleged that he committed the heinous act by dousing her with gasoline and setting her on fire in the backyard of her Gold Coast home. When police arrived at the scene, they found Kelly's charred body, and Johnston was found nearby with serious burns to his hands and respiratory tract. He was subsequently taken into custody as a suspect in the case. During the trial, it was revealed that Brian Earl Johnston had undergone an initial psychiatric evaluation. However, the court requested a second evaluation to get more information about his mental state before proceeding with the case. Johnston's defense team was responsible for securing a meeting with the second psychiatrist and presenting the court with the resulting report. Another man named Bradley Bell was also implicated in connection with Kelly Wilkinson's death. Police claimed that Bell drove Johnston to Kelly's home and helped obtain the fuel that was used in the crime. As such, Bradley Bell has been charged with murder and is also in custody awaiting trial. Kelly Wilkinson's tragic death has shocked the community and sparked discussions about domestic violence and the need to support and protect victims. Her case has brought attention to the devastating effects of such violence and the importance of addressing this issue in the community. Kelly Wilkinson's tragic story is heartbreaking and deeply shocking. In April 2021, this 27-year-old woman's life was cut short at her home in Arundel on the Gold Coast, Australia. Her ex-partner, Brian Earl Johnston, a former U.S. Marine, allegedly committed the heinous act of dousing Kelly with gasoline and setting her on fire. Neighbors found her badly burned body in the backyard of her home. Kelly's 3 young children, ages 2 to 9, were in the house at the time of the alleged attack. After the tragedy, Kelly's sister, Danielle Carroll, along with her husband Reese and 5 cousins, sheltered the grief-stricken children and provided them with a home. However, their living conditions were cramped and difficult, with up to 5 people sharing one bed. This situation caught the attention of compassionate entrepreneur Tamika Smith, who launched the I Support Kelly campaign to build a new home for the family. Through the campaign, Tamika gained the support of the Queensland construction sector, and Metricon Homes offered to build a new home for free. The local community came together, and local tradespeople and volunteers invested their time and effort to build a fully furnished 7-bedroom home on the outskirts of the Gold Coast. The goal was not only to provide a home for the children, but also to give them a fresh start, hope, and a stable environment after experiencing trauma. Tamika Smith saw the project as a way to bring positive change to vulnerable families facing a housing crisis in Australia. Following the tragic death of Kelly Wilkinson, her sister Danielle and her husband established the Kelly Wilkinson Foundation in her memory to support survivors of domestic violence. The family hopes to make a lasting impact on the lives of those affected by such violence. As for Brian Earl Johnston, he remains in custody and has not yet pleaded guilty. The trial is ongoing, with new legal teams and hearings being scheduled. Johnston's trial is expected to be lengthy as the Crown is charging Kelly Wilkinson with domestic violence, including sexual assault. The community's efforts to support Kelly's children and provide them with a new home is a testament to the care and resilience of people in the face of tragedy. It is our hope that this act of kindness will help the children recover from their trauma and give them a stable and loving environment in which they can grow and thrive. Meanwhile, the trial against Kelly's alleged killer continues. Kelly Wilkinson tragically died in April 2021 in a horrific incident that shocked the people of the Gold Coast and the rest of Australia. The circumstances surrounding her death were deeply disturbing and heartbreaking. According to reports, Kelly's former partner, Brian Earl Johnston, a former U.S. Marine, is accused of being responsible for her death. It is alleged that he doused Kelly with gasoline and set her on fire in the backyard of her home in Arundel, Gold Coast. Neighbors discovered her badly burned body after the incident. Kelly's 3 young children were inside the house at the time of the alleged attack. The children watched in horror as the tragedy unfolded before their eyes. After Kelly's death, her sister Danielle Carroll, along with her husband Reese and 5 cousins, sheltered the grief-stricken children and provided a home for them. Tamika Smith, a compassionate businesswoman and half-sister to Sister Kelly's husband, spearheaded a public appeal to build a new home for the family. The I Support Kelly campaign received overwhelming support from Queensland's construction sector, with Metricon Homes leading the effort to build a fully furnished 7-bedroom home for the family. The project was completed after more than 2 years of hard work, dedication, and support from local tradespeople and volunteers. The aim of the project was not only to provide the family with a new home, but also to give them a fresh start and new hope after experiencing trauma. We hope to provide a safe and secure environment for the children, to help them heal from a painful past and to build a strong foundation for the future. Kelly Wilkinson's death underscored the critical need to combat domestic violence and support victims of such heinous acts. In her memory, Kelly's sister Kelly and her husband established the Kelly Wilkinson Foundation to provide assistance and support to those affected by domestic violence. As for Brian Earl Johnston, he remains in custody and has not yet pleaded guilty. Court proceedings are ongoing and a trial is expected to take place in early February next year. The Crown alleges that Johnston committed domestic violence, including sexual violence, against Kelly Wilkinson, and those allegations will be presented during the trial. Kelly Wilkinson's death has caused both grief and a strong call for change in the community. Many individuals and organizations have come forward to support vulnerable families and victims of domestic violence. It is hoped that through such collective efforts, lasting change can be made that will help address the dire housing situation and create a safer and more supportive environment for those in need. The cause of Kelly Wilkinson's death was a horrific act of violence committed against her. According to reports, her ex-partner, Brian Earl Johnston, a former U.S. Marine, allegedly doused her with gasoline and set her on fire in the backyard of her home in Arundel on the Gold Coast, Australia. Neighbors found Kelly's badly burned body, and she tragically died from severe injuries sustained during the attack. The incident took place in April 2021 and shocked the local community and the entire country. During the alleged attack, Kelly's 3 young children witnessed the horrific event unfold before their eyes, further adding to the tragedy of the situation. Brian Earl Johnston was later found in a semi-conscious state 2 blocks from the crime scene and was subsequently charged with the murder of Kelly Wilkinson. He remains in custody and has not yet pleaded guilty. This case has garnered a great deal of attention and highlights the urgent need to combat domestic violence and support victims of such heinous acts. Kelly Wilkinson's death has spurred efforts to raise awareness about domestic violence and the importance of creating a safe and supportive environment for victims and their families. Through the hard work and dedication of compassionate entrepreneur Tamika Smith and the support of the Queensland construction sector, a new home was built for Kelly's children and their extended family. This gesture was not only to provide them with physical shelter, but also to give them a new start in life and a sense of hope after experiencing trauma. The memory of Kelly Wilkinson lives on through the efforts of her sister Danielle Carroll and her husband Reese, who established the Kelly Wilkinson Foundation to support victims of domestic violence. While the legal proceedings continue, we hope that justice for Kelly is served and that her tragic death serves as a catalyst for change to combat domestic violence and better support vulnerable families in Australia.